So, what I'm about to say is not going to come as a surprise, and I'm sure you've already intuited this on your own. And that is that the vast majority of people who have a struggle with stuttering or blocking or stammering, the vast majority of people who attempt or go down the path of trying to improve their speech, the majority of people simply don't get the results they want. They don't get to experience the dream that they have of just wanting to go about their lives and not have to have this weight on their shoulders, or they want to just feel like they're no longer trapped in this cage to where it's almost like they're not in their natural habitat. That's what it feels like sometimes, right? You feel almost like an animal in a cage and you can't go be yourself, or it's just really difficult to do so. And the vast majority of people who go down this path, who put in some effort to change their speech, they don't get the transformation that they dream of. Now, of course, there are reasons for this. This doesn't happen randomly, or there's not some, big guy upstairs choosing, okay, you're going to overcome it, but you're not. You're going to see results, but you're not. That's not, of course, that's not how it works. Instead, there are actual reasons. There are things people do or don't do that have a strong influence on what the result is of what they're trying to achieve. And in this video, I just want to share a couple of those reasons with you. I want to bring you on the inside. I want to show you what the people that fail to see the results that they want. I want to show you the kinds of things that those people do so that you can avoid those mistakes. Okay. I want you to see the fluency that I've been able to experience. I want you to experience the fluency that my clients who truly dedicate themselves, who put in the work, who have the right attitudes, they see incredible results. And I want the same for you. And so let me just share a couple things about the reasons why a lot of people fail to overcome stuttering. So I got three main reasons I want to share with you. Number one is they don't have a system in place to keep them on track. Or said another way, they just don't have a plan. The most predictable marker, at least from as far as I can tell, that you are not going to achieve what you want to achieve, no matter what it is, the most predictable component of why you didn't get what you wanted was because you didn't have a system in place. You didn't have a plan. You were just kind of going by the seat of your pants, so to speak. And this doesn't matter if it's going to the gym. This doesn't matter if it's a diet. This doesn't matter if it's learning a skill like the piano, or learning a new language, learning how to play guitar, learning how to speak, learning how to overcome stuttering and be a more fluent speaker. No matter what the skill is that you're trying to learn, you need some type of plan. You need a little bit of structure. And the problem is when you don't have any structure in your life, you set yourself up to fail because there are certain aspects of human nature that almost always inevitably will be stronger than your willpower with no plan. So things like procrastination, things like vagueness, or because there is a vagueness to it, you don't really have any type of boundaries or understanding of this is what I'm going to do this week. This is what I'm going to do today. This is my daily routine. When you don't have that, you will almost inevitably procrastinate. You won't follow through on the commitment you started out with because you didn't give yourself enough of a structure. It's really that simple. So you need to get some type of plan. And this is why I offer my workshop, my Stop Stuttering workshop, for free, because I want everyone to have access to a real plan. I want every one of you guys watching this to not have an excuse. I don't want you to be the person who just goes by the seat of their pants, just by their own willpower, by their own strength, their own I am gonna overcome stuttering. It's kind of like saying, I'm gonna get massive biceps, or I'm gonna get in the best shape I've ever been in. But then it's like there's no structure in place. You go to the gym, you have no idea what you're going to work out. You see an exercise machine and you're like, oh, that looks cool. I'll just do that for a bit. And then you're on your phone distracted. And that's not going to get you the results that you want. And it's no different with your speech, okay? So again, whether it's my Stop Stuttering workshop that's 100% free, link is in the description if you want to go check that out, whether it's one of my paid programs, one-on-one coaching, whatever it is, or even somebody else's program, as long as they are helpful, as long as they get you the results and they give you a good plan and they don't load it with a bunch of BS, then of course, I'm not suggesting I'm the only person that can help you. At the end of the day, you need a plan, you need a system, because otherwise you are bound to fail. And this is a huge reason why the majority of people, again, who start down this path, who have a bit of that urgency of like, I'm gonna do something about this, I'm gonna overcome stuttering, but they don't get the results when they don't have a plan. It's very rare that they break this rule and still get the results they want, okay? So that's the first reason why most people fail. The second reason why most people fail to overcome stuttering is that they don't understand the law of improvement. Now, we talked about this last week, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this, but the law of improvement basically is this. If you never stop improving, transformation is inevitable. If you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you're gonna get incredible results. If you're climbing a mountain, and you put one foot in front of the other, eventually, and it might take longer than you want, sure, but eventually you're going to get there. That's the law of improvement. If you drive a car and you're going to, let's say I want to drive to Denver. Denver's about an hour away from where I live. If I just get in my car and I start heading that direction, eventually I'm going to get there. Eventually, even if I have a flat tire, and I have to change the tire, or even if something worse happens, and then I need to take the bus or I need to take an Uber up to Denver, I can always find a way to get there, and I will get there eventually if I don't give up. It's the law of improvement. If you never stop improving, transformation is inevitable. It's really that simple. And again, this is another area where people who go down this path, the majority of people, they don't understand this, or they don't think deeply about the math behind, the basic math behind what they're actually doing. It's not that complicated. Just get a little bit better than you were yesterday. Just improve your fluency by a few percentage points from last month, and then keep going. Keep pushing that pedal until you reach that place of transformation. Okay? So that is the second reason why most people fail. They simply don't understand, or they don't follow the law of improvement. And finally, to bring this home, the third reason why most people do not see the results that they want when they go down this path of trying to change their speech is they simply don't feel enough urgency. Now, this one's a bit sneaky. This is not quite as obvious, I don't think, as the other two, but it's so important. You need to have a sense of urgency if you want to experience a transformation in your speech. Now, this urgency can come from a wide range of places. This could come from your work, your career. This is a very common reason why people feel that extra bit of motivation, that extra bit of urgency to go change their speech, because they have come to this realization of how much their career is affected by their ineffectiveness at being able to speak fluently. And often speaking fluently versus not is the difference between being able to get that next promotion. So, and as I always like to say, being a fluent speaker versus not can be the difference between making $30,000 a year and $300,000 a year, right? That might sound like an exaggeration, but I don't think it's an exaggeration at all. That's how important your speech is, especially in the workplace, especially in any kind of career where there is value placed on the skill level and your ability to communicate. There are not a lot of industries where your ability to speak doesn't matter. And in most industries, if you can be a highly competent speaker, you put yourself in front of the line. You really start to broaden your potential, and even just straight up your ability to make as much money as possible, to level up your income, to get that promotion, to work your way up. And it's really hard to do that if stuttering is hindering you from being a good communicator. Okay? So that's one example of you feel that urgency. And I want you to feel that. If there is a career path that you feel that you connect to, that you really want to become a master in, that you want to excel in, then I want you to feel that urgency of, wow, if I can overcome this, if I can change my speech, this is how much more money I could be making every year. And it's not even just a money thing. It's also the relationships or your ability to feel like you're doing what you were called to do. That would be another way of putting it, where you feel like you're putting your best foot forward and you're maximizing your career. All of those, like that really impacts your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and it helps to defend against things like deep anxiety or deep depression that a lot of people experience when they feel like they're just not living up to their potential. It really does eat away at you when you feel like you're not living up to what you could be. And so that is urgency that you want to feel. You want to get as much urgency in your system as you can, okay? And this could also apply to things like relationships, dating. If you feel like you just can't put yourself out there, if you're, a straight guy and you just find it really, really hard to talk to women because of even just getting that first line out. Maybe once you get started, maybe you're okay, but it's like that approach, that first line, you feel like you're just going to block, and it's just terrifying. It's very debilitating, right? And I want you to feel that urgency. And there's a reason that I picked these two to mention here, your career and your relationships / your dating life. And it's because those two things are connected to a couple of the deepest impulses or the deepest needs that we feel as human beings, which is survival and social relationships, right? You could put it that way. So survival, that's of course, if you can make money, it helps you survive and it helps you actually live the life you want without wondering where your next meal is going to come from. And then, of course, your social relationships, family, connections, reproduction, all of that, right? There's that deep, it's deeply embedded into the human psyche and into the human brain that is a great place, or those are great places to tap into that urgency, is when it really feels like it affects your survival. Like you're kind of playing on your survival instincts a little bit. And so, again, this is where a lot of people, sure, they feel the pain and it's very painful. And that is what initially drives them to this place of wanting to do something about their speech and change it. But that doesn't mean they're thinking deeply about it. That doesn't mean there's urgency there. The urgency is more coming from this place of, or often anyway, it's coming from this place of just wanting to avoid that pain, or just they're tired of the anxiety and the pain. And of course, that's always a part of it. We want to be able to rise above that. But you want your urgency to go deeper. This is a way that you can really set yourself apart from the majority of people who don't get the results. Just really think more deeply than they do. Think deeply about how much this could impact your career, your dating life, your social life, your relationships, your ability to have a family. Like, take it as far as you can take it. Think about what you really want. And then use that urgency to push you, to really put you in that position to where it becomes almost impossible to give up. That is what urgency does. So, my friend, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to dive deeper, as I mentioned before, I have my free Stop Stuttering workshop for you to go check out right away. Go check it out now. The link is in the description. This gives you everything you need to get started on your path to fluency, everything from downloadable PDFs, a 45+ minute video training, a daily routine. You get to understand things about what stuttering is, how it, what the process actually looks like to overcome it. you'll learn a few myths, misconceptions that a lot of people have that are wrong and that a lot of people believe and that hinders them from seeing the results. All of these things, you get it all for free. It's my Stop Stuttering workshop. And again, I will leave the link in the description below. So be sure to go check that out before you leave today. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.